evening. It's time for our news. Finance Minister Vasyl Szadli confirmed that the government counter-proposals have not been officially submitted to the Troika and clarified that they were leaked on internet sites a few minutes following their delivery to parliamentary parties. Szadli, currently in Luxembourg for discussions with the Troika, added that now the proposals are there for all to see, and further expressed surprise for certain reactions. The Finance Minister said that for the past 2 months the government has been in daily contact with the Troika technocrats, both providing information but also seeking its own clarifications. He further added that on the sidelines of the Eurogroup and ECOFIN summits tomorrow and Tuesday in Luxembourg, he will hold unofficial talks with the Troika. Szadli stressed that the government package will be officially submitted to the Troika following the conclusion of discussions with parties and social actors. This, he added, is when the real negotiation will be launched, so that the complete counter-proposals document will be put to the Eurogroup summit. Szadli will preside over the Eurogroup and ECOFIN summits in the framework of the Cyprus EU presidency. Opposition VC leader and presidential candidate Nikos Anastasiadis said that these are crucial times for the economy, and therefore consensus is needed in order to achieve results in negotiations with the Troika, particularly reducing painful measures on the employees. Anastasiadis expressed regret because, as he claimed, the government only conferred with Agel on its counter-proposals to the Troika and left the rest of the parties out, thus failing to prepare a more pragmatistic package of proposals. He further expressed doubts on whether timeframes on measures' implementation will be met. Fruitless bickering over the economy is hurting the prospect of a positive end to negotiations with the Troika, said presidential candidate Stavros Malas. He underlined the need to put aside election expediencies and proceed with realism and sobriety, because there is not much time left. Malas called on parties and candidates to express clear constructive positions and come forward with proposals, instead of merely criticizing. His immediate priorities include facilitating foreign investments in crucial sectors of the economy, as well as the construction industry and upgrading tourism services. Presidential candidate Yorgos Liligas said he would reject any agreement with the Troika if it includes mortgaging natural gas reserves, future approval of the state budget by the Troika, and denying the government the right to use tax motives to develop growth. These are terms, Liligas added, that give away state sovereignty and prevent the growth of the Cyprus economy for many years, even decades. On natural gas, Liligas rejected the Troika request for the creation of a special fund, out of which profits from natural gas exports will be used to pay off the Republic's loans. Such an arrangement, he stressed, also constitutes loss of state sovereignty. In other local news, a massive blaze which broke out at the Lachat industrial area outside Nicosia caused extensive damage to 3 establishments. The source of the fire was an olive and olive oil processing plant, and it soon spread to a nearby storage building and the next-door printers. The fire service responded with 6 vehicles, with firemen managing to contain the blaze before it spread to other industrial sites in the vicinity. Extensive on-the-scene investigation points to arson, while both the plant and the printers have insurance coverage. Police discovered 10 kilograms of cannabis in the car of a 40-year-old Limassol man, who was caught on the Larnaca-Decalia road following a tip-off. The cannabis was packed in a plastic bag. The suspect was remanded in custody for 8 days by the district court in Larnaca, while following a drug squad investigation, a second suspect is being sought. A drug squad spokesman said that the discovery leads to the breakup of yet another drug ring. A Nepalese woman fell 5 floors to her death in the early hours in Larnaca, believing that authorities had come to arrest her as her work permit had expired. Police had been called to the apartment to investigate charges of disturbing the peace. The 39-year-old tied a sheet to the balcony and attempted to climb down the building, but fell from the 5th down to the 1st floor. She died instantly. Tensions between Turkey and Syria escalated again today when a shell from Syrian territory landed in the Turkish border city of Akçakale, drawing an immediate Turkish response. No casualties were reported from the strike, the second such exchange in 5 days. The exchanges are the most serious cross-border violence in the Syrian conflict, which began as pro-democracy protests but has evolved into a civil war with sectarian overtones. They highlight how the crisis could destabilize the region. Meanwhile, Syrian rebels have seized a government army outpost near the Turkish border province of Hatay, and the rebel flag flew over the building, while clashes could be heard in the area of a nearby Syrian village. The rebels took control of the three-story white building around 1 kilometer from the border, on a hill overlooking the Turkish village of RIK2. Venezuelans voted today with President Hugo Chavez facing the biggest electoral challenge yet to his socialist rule, from a young rival tapping into discontent over crime and cronyism. RIK2, the centrist state governor, edged toward the still popular Chavez in a final poll thanks to a vigorous campaign that united the opposition and made him its best chance of ending Chavez's 14-year rule. Chavez has used record oil revenue to support ideological allies around the world while preaching a fiercely anti-US line, so the election will be watched eagerly from the United States to Belarus and Iran. Chavez loyalists in poor neighborhoods where the flamboyant former soldier draws his most fervent following, then blew bugles and trumpets in a pre-dawn wake-up call for voters. Long queues formed at some polling centers before they opened. The 58-year-old president staged a remarkable comeback from cancer this year, but he could not match the energy of past campaigns or the pace set by his 40-year-old basketball-loving opponent. Most well-known pollsters put Chavez in front, but two have Capriles just ahead, and his numbers have crept up in others. That's it for our news, and now look at tomorrow's weather forecast. Overcast skies will bring local showers and isolated storms. Winds will be strong to very strong southwesterly to northwesterly, force 5 to 6 over moderate to rough seas. Temperatures will reach 29 degrees Celsius inland and in coastal regions and 18 degrees over the mountains. The fire hazard remains very high in all forest areas. And just a quick reminder that later on the channel at 9 you can catch an episode of Doctor Who, followed at 9:50 by the second part of My House Full of Mirrors. Meanwhile, over on CIBC1, if you're looking for some more serious entertainment, tune in to watch Transformers. Join us again tomorrow at the same time. Until then, have a very good evening.